Hey guys, so this is my first garden vlog. I'm doing this because I really want a garden, at least I think I do, but I've been acquiring supplies for one for a really long time and just haven't done the work. Now all this COVID-19 stuff's going on, I'm trapped at home, and suddenly I feel like I've got to go to Lowe's to get stuff, but I'm not gonna do that because I have a lot of resources here. Anyway, I have this area of my yard over here. It's like this little nook that kind of comes out into the fence area. I'm gonna clean it up, or at least try to, and turn it into a garden with vegetables and fruits. So we'll see how this goes. I may not even release this video. I might just keep it for myself. As I'm out here thinking about doing this, like, I'm thinking of all the things I need to do, like mow the yard. You can probably tell. Then there's the hammock stand over here, which, you know, I could just hang up the hammock and that sounds better. Anyway, lots to do, so I'm gonna see how much I get done during this little span of time that I work. So this is the opening vlog, and then I'll do a closing vlog each time to show what I've done, maybe do some clips along the way to talk about what I'm doing. Here we go. So I'm actually in the garage right now, and some of the hurdles to me actually gardening is that I don't feel like I can keep my indoor life in check. So how can I take care of a garden? So just looking around the garage, there's just so much stuff. Like, a lot of it needs to be sold. I mean, at least I can park the car in here. That's like a requirement, but just, I feel like there's just a ton of stuff in here that's not very organized. And I need my mower, which I'll show you guys where that is right now. So there's the mower. And I'm gonna have to get through all of that stuff to get my mower out. So when I come out to get it, it's just like, do I really want to do this right now? Anyway, let's walk over here and we're gonna raise the garage door. Oh, by the way, the garage door is broken, so we have to do things manually. Anyway, so step one, move the crap to get the push mower out. So fun fact, I was just on my way to start moving things out of the way of the mower, and I look on my car here. Let me spin it around. And there's this object laying under here. Some mechanic has left their socket ratchet. This is not mine. I don't own this, so I don't know if it came from my last oil change, which was a little while ago. It means it's been sitting there for quite some time. Or somebody left it there while, I don't know. Who would lay that there, like in a parking lot? Okay, so distraction. Back to the mower. So still in the garage, I did open up a pathway to get the lawnmower out. It involved getting rid of some trash, paper towel stash that I put from Sam's up on our shelf. Thankfully, we had just bought some right before the COVID stuff hit, so didn't have to deal with some of that. Now, toilet paper, we're running a little low right now, but I think we're good for a few days. Anyway, so as I'm working and I'm carrying stuff out, you know, I go out to our front little garden area, and it is in real need of help. So I see these giant weeds jutting out, and I want to stop what I'm doing and pull them because we've had so much rain and I just haven't been in the mood to do anything because of all that's going on. And I say that, but you know, that happens a lot for me, and it's why I don't garden and I don't do more upkeep outside the house. But I'm hoping that this journey will help me have my garden, but also simplify other areas of my life. Get rid of a lot of junk I don't need and keep it out. That's the goal. And just be able to enjoy the things I want to enjoy. So let's get this lawnmower out and cut the grass in our little area. All right, so we're back around the side of the house again. I've got the mower. It is an electric mower, and I know some people think electric mowers are ridiculous because you have to drag the cord around. And I would get a battery powered one. I think once batteries get better, I might invest in one. They're more expensive, but it may be better for the environment. I think in some ways it is. But also, I have always hated dealing with gasoline. I hate it. Like the smell, lugging it around, trying not to spill it. And so it's so much easier to just plug it in and be super careful, you know, that you don't drive over the cord, because that is a danger. Anyway, so I'm already out of breath, which shows just how tragically out of shape I am. But I don't push myself. I'm not into the drill sergeant thing. I don't want anybody out here yelling at me to keep going. If I want to take a break, I'm going to take a break. So drinking a little water and then gonna start mowing. So being honest, I started to get the lawnmower set up. I have unraveled the cord here to plug in and realized that the other day when I was washing a rug, I left the hose uncoiled and I just didn't want it in the way, so I was gonna start coiling the hose back up, and here's another one of those wondrous weeds growing that makes it, you know, very difficult to wrap the hose back up. So you can see how if you let maintenance go and don't really keep up with it, like it makes every step of your process that much harder. So I want to pull it up, but I'm probably gonna need some tools, definitely gonna need some gloves. So I'm gonna walk back to the garage, grab a pair of gloves, grab some clippers, and see if I can get rid of this giant weed. Brought out some tools. I've got a spade, a little tiny spade, and some shears, and put on some gloves. By the way, I'm always afraid to put my gloves on because, like, at the end of the season, because our garage does have spiders, because we have so much junk in it, so it's like, hey, prime real estate, guys, and all the spiders come. Anyway, let's try again to get this weed. So let me give you one more look at it. And there's Speckles. Hey, Speckles, hi. She's gonna scope it out too. So it's pretty big. I need to learn exactly what kind of weed this is. I think I'm gonna take a picture of it and try to have it identified. It's got a pretty strong stalk. I'm tempted to say like snakeweed or something because I think they're a kind that like stink really bad when you cut them down. Plus, I don't know, it looks all pointy and vicious, and let's see if we can get it out. So I got it up. I also have this app called PlantNet, and you can take a picture and it uses artificial intelligence to guess based on the leaves and the flowers and the picture like what type of plant it is. And so it had a pretty high accuracy rate guess that it thinks it's a spiny sow thistle, so it's like a thistle. Anyway, here it is on the ground. I decided to try to pull it up from its root. Roots didn't go very deep, and thankfully, because it's rained a lot, the soil was dry, but it wasn't like so rock hard that I couldn't get it up that way. So hopefully that'll stop it from coming back as quick as if I just kind of chopped it off the top. So I've mowed a little strip, and I'm gonna keep doing it, but I'm really kind of sad to mow a little bit because there are these adorable little yellow wildflowers. Let me see if I can maybe flip my camera. So, flipping my camera, you know, you can see here these flowers that pollinators rely on. And I'm not cutting grass everywhere. I want to try to leave some of these. And I'm going to look up on my little program what kind of flowers these are, but or weed or whatever you want to call it. And we've also got these little tiny kind of bluish purple flowers. And I know a lot of people just kind of dump a weed killer on their yards and want this uniform look, but I kind of like the diversity. And once you mow, eventually in the season it all is green stalks anyway. And so at church we've been having classes over the last few months, of course before COVID, but earlier in the year, just about keeping a more natural habitat for pollinators. Let me turn the camera back around. There's Speckles again. Hey, Speckles. So yeah, those natural pollinators, and I have a bunch of Arkansas native seeds to toss out. I probably already have a lot of these things in the yard, but I'm trying to leave patches in different places where these pollinators can live, butterflies, bees, and probably some others that we don't really like, but they do help pollinate. A couple things I've noticed when mowing. I'll show you, I've got a bird's nest up here. So here's the bird's nest, and that's pretty cool. I don't know what type it is, but I have seen a bird flying in and out of it. I'm grateful to have lots of great trees out where we live. I'm thankful they haven't been cut down, so you can always hear beautiful birds singing. And really nice. Since I'm being distracted anyway, I wanted to show this patch of clover here that is also really a great pollinator food. So figured I'd scan that. Another fun thing to consider is these little ant hills, fire ant hills, I believe. You know, they are invasive. They're not native to here, and there's pesticides out there you can throw on them. I've tried a couple of different things, and I don't know, I'm really nervous about using certain pesticides. My dad actually worked in pest control, and you know, he knew a lot about safety with pesticides and things like that. So he did that for a short stint after Vietnam. He had difficulty maintaining that job due to kind of his own personal struggles and mental struggles and things he dealt with. A lot of different people had rough experiences in Vietnam to varying degrees, and he was an infantryman, and he went 68, 69 during the Tet Offensive. So rough times. Anyway, think about him sometimes with that, and he used to use Sevin dust on everything. I got into it with a guy at Lowe's one time. So we had lived here for a while, and I noticed the fire ant issue, and I'm like, okay, well, I remember, you know, my dad used to use Sevin dust, and so I go to Lowe's, and there is this Bayer salesman standing by the pesticide aisle harassing people. I felt he was just trying to sell his product, but I hate that. I'm just like, I want to come in, I want to figure it out myself, what I want. And you know, then so I picked up the Sevin dust, and he's like, oh, you want to get Sevin dust, you're gonna kill the bees that way, like thinking, I don't know, I felt like he just kind of pegged me as trying to sell to me based on what kind of misinformation he thought I believed in. And I actually did take the bag from him and start to go check out, and then I just felt weird about it, and so he thought he made a sale, but I actually put the bag down somewhere else. So sorry to the Lowe's employee that had to put that back. And I ended up not getting any pesticide at all, and it just came back home. So the ants are still here, and I'll figure it out. We don't have kids right now. That would be a big deal. You know, obviously I'd hate for a kid to fall in and get bit by ants. And I mean, Speckles, Penny, for the most part, they stay out of it. So anyway, back to mowing. That was the point, right? So another quick thing, just a little mowing, but I have this contraption right here. It was actually a part of an awning that, you know, now they have those quick quick up awnings that just pop up and fold in. This was back before that time. You had to like lock poles in place. They were all separate, blah, blah, blah. Lost some poles along the way, so it shrunk down from its normal size to just like this little tiny hut size. And I kept the poles because I'm like, you know, I could put just like clear plastic over it and make kind of a greenhouse out of it. And so I've had it piled up over in this area where I wanted the garden to be, and like grass will grow up around it and then be like, oh, I have to mow there, so I move it to another spot and then grass grows up around there. And anyway, so it's moved again. Hopefully I'll actually use it for what I think I can use it for, if it's worth it. If not, I'm just gonna end up trashing it, but I don't want to do that. I like to reuse stuff, but that's part of my problem. Like, I think, oh man, I don't need to throw this away, I could use this for this. And yeah, it doesn't work out too great. So the flowers, the yellow flowers, I put them in my PlantNet app and chose Creeping Buttercup. It might also be Tall Buttercup, I don't know. I went ahead and just chose one that looked the closest to me. And then the little tiny purplish flowers were called, hold on, I gotta go look again, I forgot. Blue Field Madder. So very, very cute looking. I'll have to research them and see what all they do. But not mowing them all down, just in this area so I can have my vegetable garden. Whoop. Here's Bug, mad at me because I mowed his house down. There were a lot of mosquito hawks and other flying things over in this area full of grass, so sorry to them for evicting them. So not looking at me, looking at the area I just mowed, there was some shrubbery that tried to grow up in the area that I just piled along with some old landscape fabric. That's a conundrum, we'll talk about that more later. But it's all mowed and prepped. Hopefully tomorrow I can do some tilling and actually lay down some protective barrier like cardboard and get my garden rows set up. So we'll see. It's been a good day. I've worked a little over an hour and a half, not a lot, but you know, I'm a full-time worker, so I have to make sure that I do this in a sustainable way. How much time am I gonna give per day? An hour? Is that even feasible to give an hour a day? It might be like an hour every few days. And right now the weather is great. It's like, you know, 70-ish degrees. Tomorrow's gonna be really beautiful. But by the time summer gets here in the south, you're talking 90s in the afternoon. That's pretty miserable. So I have to get a morning routine going. Anyway, that's it for today. So this has been, let's see, it's April the 9th, 2020. And this is day one of making the garden.